basketball, we have everybody here on here. And it's going to be an Arbiter class today. All right, Arbiter. I mean, some of you all do this, and you do a great job of it. It helps you. It helps the assigner. Great deal, because basically the Arbiter tells the assigner when you want to work, when you can't work. I mean, John's going to go through this here in detail. If you have any questions, make sure you do that. Again, before we get started, let's people continue to sign on. For the basketball, we got the conference tournaments of this week. We still have in the All-American, they have 2 regular season contests. On the top 4, so 4 of the top 5 teams are playing. Pine Forest is playing at Westover, and Over Hills is playing at Terry Sanford tomorrow. And then they're going to publish, they can finalize their boys tournament. But I have the tournament games for tomorrow as I know it. Some other assignments probably going to come out or tomorrow, probably this evening, or come out during the week. We have the conference tournaments out. Pay attention to the locations, because the United 8 is playing the girls at Cape Fear and at Purnell Sweat. All right. So now say that Lumberton and those teams are playing this way. So don't just look at the teams, look at the location, look at the site. All right. If you're a referee, make sure you contact the crew and then make sure you know where games are going to be played. Because 71st, some games, the team's not going to be playing at their home gym. So ensure that. The seeding meeting for next week, the state playoff start, first 2 rounds, the local assigner has to be on the 22nd and the 24th. All right, those first 2 rounds. It's going to be imperative that the information you get off this clinic today will help you and help me as far as securing who's available. Okay. As far as softball scrimmages, dates are the 19th, 22nd, 23rd, 26th of February. Big days being the 19th and 26th. I've signed up, made assignments for all the scrimmages except for one. And Pinecrest's going to just send one in. This will be on the 26th. However, add more people to the scrimmage, but people that I want to see work right now, the people that done the things they're supposed to do in order, the scrimmage assignments. What I'm going to do is season starts for the spring sports, cross, women's soccer, baseball, and softball. It starts on the 28th. I mean, that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. So after this class today, hopefully you go and once you watch the Super Bowl and finish all that, the festivities, you update your Arbiter after you go and celebrate your Valentine's Day tomorrow. I will make some assignments for the first week of the season this week, up about Tuesday, not later than Wednesday, week of the 28th. So information you get from here today, you should be able to go update your Arbiter, make all the adjustments. And for those in softball, since we won't have a clinic today, it's going to be strictly the Arbiter class. I was just pay attention to your emails. I address the uniform and some other things. And just like John's putting this out today, he's going to show, he'll have the slide with shirts. Because I did talk to Mark Krapovitz at the NCHSAA, and he's going to allow us, I mean, it's up to the local association, what we do as far as the uniform shirt. We're going to be, as long as we're all in the same one, those 2 people on the field, it's going to be, we're going to be able to wear some different things this year than we were previous years. That being said, Don, I think.
All right. Thank you again. So as Mr. Daniels stated, we have 4 lacrosse associations joining us in addition to softball and basketball from Southeastern. Those associations are the Raleigh Men's and Women's Lacrosse and the Eastern Lacrosse Association for Girls, and then Southeastern Lacrosse officials. So I appreciate Mr. Daniels allowing us to host this platform. We're going to go through, the goal of today is once you leave, if you have experience with Arbiter, hopefully you'll learn something new that you can use. if you haven't used Arbiter in a couple years, then this will hopefully be a refresher for you. If you've never used Arbiter, this will be something that will get you able to get started. One of the biggest things, when the reason we wanted to put this on, is it's hard for it's double the work for the assigners if you turn back a game because you didn't update your Arbiter. And eventually, if you turn back lots of games or decline lots of games, that could eventually affect your future assignments. So we're trying to help you make sure that you can tell the regional supervisors that you work for when you are available, and that way they can give you games when you are available. So first of all, what we're going to start out with is we are going to start out with Dragonfly. That is the NCHSAA registration page. It is where you do everything for the state. So we'll log into Dragonfly Max. And so it'll come up with all this information. Now, you can scroll down and it will see that these are my ones. The first thing we want to look at is down here are the cards. All right. These are what gets you into a game if you are if you're trying to go watch another official to get better and you don't have a game one day. It's encouraged that you go and request these cards and get these cards so that you can use them to go watch games. Now, the card, as you can see, I have my ones from soccer and football and basketball, baseball, lacrosse, and softball that I have up there. I've already requested those cards. Those cards will not be approved until you have completed all the requirements from the state. That means you completed your test, you have completed the concussion course, the assigner has confirmed that you have attended scrimmages and clinics and have paid the local association. So when you get all that, the state will update these so that they will not show pending, that they will be like the ones you see on the course. There's soccer and football. In order to do this, you have to request to add a card. You'll slide down to the bottom of your Dragonfly page and you'll hit request to add a card. When you do this, it'll ask you for which one you would like to add. I got to find one that is I'm not eligible. There we go. Wrestling. So let's say I want to add wrestling. It's going to ask you some questions. I already did it, but it's going to ask you your name, your address, and email and phone number. All right. And then you'll have to sign it. Then you'll have to upload your picture. You have to have a picture and it has to be here up. They don't want a full body picture. They will reject it if you send a full body picture. They would just want your head. All right. So get your mug shot and you'll upload it in there. Then you will hit the card. Once you hit get the card, that is when it will go into the pending stage until the state has approved and verified that you have completed all the requirements. Is there any questions before I go on about how to get your all officials pass to get you into games? See my wrestling one showing up as pending. All right. Next, on the Dragonfly. Again, this is where we do all of the state registration. So to register for a new sport, complete your test. You got this bar that's showing red. All right. You will hit complete your registration. All right. In this, you will see that these are all my tests that I have taken. These are my associations of who I work with and what sports. Now, if I wanted to add a sport, you click on this button. It says confirm and update sports. I know some officials I've talked to that do multiple sports. Some of them have done baseball and basketball at the beginning of the year, but now they're trying to do softball or lacrosse, and they're trying to add them. You got to click confirm and update sports, at which point you will then click whatever sport you would like to add, and then you will hit save. All right. Then you'll have to go down here and hit paid, and it will show you that you owe for whatever sport you owe. All right. So if, let's say I had to do women's lacrosse, that box would be available. You would check it, it would show the amount, and it would show you your credit card payment, and you would hit paid. That is how you update your Dragonfly so that you can add a new sport. Any questions on that part? All right. Next, for all sports except women's lacrosse, your tests are put out by Dragonfly. All right, so you will go again. We will go back to our home page for Dragonfly. When you log in, it will look like this. You will go to complete your registration. Then you will see your tests that are down here. You'll see the ones you've already completed, your scores, and you will hit, it will say take your test. Mine says resume because I started softball already. That is where you can go in. Now, you have unlimited times to go in and start your test. But once you hit submit, that's it. Mr. Daniels, correct, or JJ, I saw JJ come in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 75 to be eligible for varsity and 80% to be eligible for playoffs is what the test requirements are, if I remember correctly.
In fact, John, 75 for junior varsity as well.
Gotcha.
To do high school.
To do high school is 75. Right. All right. And so you would hit, you will resume test. All right. And it will take you to your test. Now I'm going to have to log out. So it takes you to your test. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. Too quick. All right. Any questions about how to take your test? This is any questions on Dragonfly? That's the main thing of this part of the clinic is there any questions on Dragonfly? All right, now we're going to switch over and talk about the main focus of today, which is the Arbiter. Arbiter is where your assigners will communicate with you and how you tell your assigners if you are available or not. And so that is the important part for the assigners. I will be going back and forth to different associations to show different things because of their availability. All right, how you change, first of all, how you change the association you're looking at. If I would like to go to my softball or basketball, which is Mr. Daniels, I click this arrow down and I would find the one that says Errol Daniels Southeastern Softball. I would click on that official. That will show me, this is my page. All right. If I click on the main, this will provide the information that Mr. Daniels has put out there for us to know. All right. The key thing, especially for lacrosse, I think Mr. Daniels uses this, but I know all the lacrosse officials use this. You need to make sure you go to the main page of whatever assigner you're at and click this button that says ready to be assigned. All right. If you don't click that button, they can't send you any games. All right. So I just unclicked it. If it looks like this, you can't get games from them. You have to click that button to say you're ready to be assigned. That's the #1 priority in Arbiter when you get in, especially if you're adding a new association. Like if, for example, I had never done softball before, when Mr. Daniels sends it to me, it will look like this the first time I log in. I've got to get that ready to be assigned box clicked. All right. Any questions on that part? Now we're going to switch over to your profile. Your profile has some very important information. It's your contact information. All right. You have your name, your email addresses, your phone numbers are up here. The cellular thing is important to be able. This is where you tell you give the numbers that your partners can see. If I click this box and under public, it makes a blue check mark. That lets me know, lets my partners see what phone numbers they can contact me in. If you don't select that button, there is no phone numbers in which your partners can contact you in. The other thing that I would tell you that's very important for you to know is, guys, it happened in women's lacrosse last year. And I've seen it happen in softball and baseball. Please, guys, go down here, put in that box an emergency contact number. All right. Please make that public. The reason is, if you're on a game site and something happens in your part and you collapse, or you need medical attention and are unable to give an emergency contact, this will allow us to immediately have the number of the person you have deemed as your emergency contact. In the notes, you can put who it is. Mine says Jeremy Owens and it says brother. It's my brother. You can put in there Jane Doe wife, and that will show up on for your partners, where in case of an emergency, they can call those people. Even if you don't make that public, at least put that in there so that worst case scenario, you don't want that to be public, but in the previous, the signer can look into it. And I can call Mr. Daniel and say, hey, John Doe has collapsed out here. We've called the ambulance. They're going to Cape Fear Valley Hospital. Can you get up with their emergency contact? That's not the best case scenario, but everybody, you need to put in an emergency contact number. So please do that.
John, right? Before you move on to that in your same area, how about click on the AT&T, click on that down arrow right there. Hey, look here. Everybody see this? Now, in order to get that cell phone, you have to have a carrier. John, just scroll down. All these here. Now, in there, what I've had asked Arbiter, if you have a Spectrum, it is not in there. You don't have one of your carrier is not listed there. Shoot your regional supervisor a note. I'm sending that out to you, the Arbiter, trying to get that fixed, because that's something that the regional supervisors pay for. It's for you to have. You get a game change, a new game, or anything else. It's send you a text message. Yeah. So again, in saying that, if your carrier is not listed in there, you have a cellular carrier, let the regional supervisor know. All right, because again, you have to have that to get those messages. They have to link up. If you change, you got to go back in there and change that. Not, you won't receive those text messages when you get the phone. And also, John, if you go up there on the email, a lot of people have Roadrunner accounts, AOL, Gmail accounts, Yahoo. You can get that email address. John has his. It said at Campbell EDU. If he wanted to add another email, you want to get to your significant other or just another account that give you those reminders. You notice he just clicked on the plus sign. John, just go over to click. See that plus sign? You can add as many email addresses as you want, but they're going to get that email. So again, use that profile page. This is how the Arbiter communicates with you. All right, and I say, so if I make a change to a game, the game starts at 5:30, you change to 6 o'clock, or vice versa. I go in there and not hit that change, it's going to generate you a text message, and it's going to generate an email to let you know that game changes. It's in bold what that change was. This profile page is notice, John, when he clicked it, it'll say that, like he said in green right there, it says your email has been updated. When you do that, just make sure you hit save on whatever area, email, telephone number, anything else, it will tell you your email, your phone number has been updated. That's, again, that's a key element. Somebody that's always said, look, I'm not receiving the messages, I don't get notifications. That's how you get the update your home. All right, thanks, Jim.
So, and like you said, anytime you make these changes, you have to hit the save button. And that's what locks it in as that you're doing it. All right. I'm going to remove that because I will forget it later. All right. Down here is your address. Again, there's a box up here to the top right. You don't have to make this public if you don't want to. All right. If you unclick it, then none of your partners can see it. Only your RSO, your regional supervisor. All right. Then down here, it's important to have your social security number because that's what Arbiter base your will base your taxes off of. All right. Then you can set your security questions where if you get locked out. Any
John,
questions?
on the social security, John, the social security number. Now we can't. That's what everybody sees. So sometimes you got schools that pay on site, and if you're not, the first time you're there, they'll call. Sometimes they call the signer. They may call you and ask for the social security number. The signers, we don't have your social security number. That's all we see. We see those first those asterisks, and then last four. And so we don't have that, so we can't provide them that. And I wouldn't. So again, if they call you, that's you, or you can wait till you get there to do that. But signer does not have access to you.
All right. In here, also you'll see over here, this is something I know that we preach in a lot of our sports is the picture. Guys, I can tell you, I've looked at a lot of people's picture just to see, hey, who are my partners, especially when I'm looking at the outdoor sports where we don't have a locker room to change into, a general meeting to change into. This picture helps out knowing, hey, this is who my partner is. Now, I'm also going to put the disclaimer out here. Your picture does not need to be an action shot. It needs to be a headshot, and it needs to be a professional shot, as in that you don't need to have a t-shirt on looking like you're fixing to go paint your house. Because this is also what game day administrators can see when they click on your name. And so in order to change your picture or add a picture, you just click the plus mark. All right. And then it will pull it up. Then you would hit change picture. Now I can't hit it because I'm on a new computer and I'll lose this picture, but you would hit change picture and you will save it. Please try to get you a picture in, because again, that helps your partners, the school. And also, I will say this, I know a bunch of people from different sports, and I'm like, man, I don't know who they are by name, but I know as soon as I see you, like Oliver Sanders, for example, I know him as Snake. I don't know him as Oliver Sanders. And so, but when I click on his picture, then I know, oh, okay, I'm working with Snake. That's who that is. But some of you pictures are older than some of the athletes we're going to be officiating. And some of you have lost weight, gained weight, lost hair, add hair, whatever it may be. So please try to update this at least every 3 to 5 years so that you have a picture that is that reflects who you are. Underneath the pictures, you have your eligibility. That will be different depending on whose arbiters you're in. For example, right now it shows for me baseball, basketball, and softball. If I enter in and went over to my USSF, which is soccer. If I go over to my soccer profile, it's going to have grade 7, which is, so your eligibility center will change with whatever regional supervisor's page you are on at that time. All right. Now, when you go, a lot of our assigners do not use this, but we will do a quick look into it. You have the custom fields, and this is where some assigners will put information for you to fill out. Again, most of the time I only use this for soccer, travel soccer, because you have the registrations and you have the different information on there. So your custom fields, you'll get instructed, like here is where I would add a tournament. I would click and add the tournament code in there. And then the biggest thing is on this page, there's only one, there's save button at the top and the bottom. Everything you do in the custom fields, you got to save it, just like on the previous profile. Now, again, we talked about that ready to be assigned. If you don't see it on the main page, you can go to, when you go to your profile, it will show it right here. All right. Make sure that box under the arbiter for whoever it may be is clicked. Every assigner's arbiter group has to have that clicked in order for you to be able to be assigned. Under preferences, this is where you tell arbiter, how do you want to be communicated? The arbiter sends out a game reminder about 2 days before the game. You can send it by email or by your phone number. You put the check. If you get a new assignment, it'll send it out. How do you want it to be sent? If I only want it to be sent to, if I get a new game, I only want it to be texted to me, I unclick, I would just make sure that that box is not clicked. All right. I have to hit save in order for that to happen. So it's up to you where you get it. All right. Make sure your time zone is up to date. All right. We all are Eastern pretty much, but I've seen some people that have clicked that and turned it into Mountain. All right. Password. This is where you, under the profile tab, password, this is where you can change your password. Sharing. This is a very important feature for those of you who do multiple sports. This allows you, your assigners, to be able to see what you are assigned in other sports. For example, why this is important. If let's say for lacrosse people, let's say that JJ White is assigning me a lacrosse game at Fuquay-Varina High School, and Chuck Snyder wants to assign me a game at Willow Springs High School. They're 4 minutes apart. And so he can see, oh, JJ's got me assigned at 4 o'clock at Fuquay-Varina High School for a game. I can make it over to a 7 o'clock game at Willow Springs. But you have to see it. Otherwise, the only thing the assigner will see is that you have a game from 4 to 6 o'clock. It doesn't tell them where. It just says you're unavailable. So make sure the checks, you check all the boxes that you want to share. If, for example, I didn't want my club soccer person to be able to see, or excuse me, if I did not want all my other assigners to be able to see what my club soccer assigner assigns me, I would uncheck this box. All right. If I want these assigners to not be able to see all my other groups, I would just uncheck that box. That would allow, they would not be able to see where my games are. It would just show up as blocked. I encourage you who do multiple officials or with multiple associations to check all these boxes so that your other assigners are able to see where your games are at. That will allow you more than likely to be them to know, oh, yes, the arbiter's showing you as unavailable. It's because your games are overlapping. And so it might be that I'm doing a softball game, one softball game for Mr. Daniels and JJ at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and JJ has a 7 o'clock game at Cape Fear High School also, that he can just put me on that game and know that I don't have to travel. And so that's a key tool that you can use. Any question about the profile tab? All right, next. Oh, I got a question. Mr. Grant. Maybe not. All right, next we're moving on to the blocks page. This is the most important page for you and your regional supervisor. I like to repeat what everybody says. You make your own schedule. You decide when you're available. And this is the tool where you tell the regional supervisor, I would like games at this time. So what you're looking at is the calendar that's set up. Red is where I have a full day block. Now that full day block, which you will be able to see when you click on it, that full day block is for everybody. Now I can also come in here and go, well, I'm just going to block it because I know that there's a lot of basketball games and I want to be able to do basketball and nothing else. So I would just click that X on the basketball number and it would remove the block. So the only person I'm showing available to is now Mr. Daniels with basketball. All right. The blue means I have an assigned game. This light blue down here means I have a pending game. So that means the game has not been published, but the assigner has penciled me in as I am the one that they want to work that game, but they have not sent that information out to me yet. Guys, if you see this right here, for example, I'll go ahead and click on one. I know this is probably a JJ game. It is. It's a lacrosse game. Look, if I come up and need March 1st off and that box is blue like that and I go in and block it, you need to let that regional supervisor know that you have blocked that day. The reason is you are available when they penciled you in. So your block will not go in there and supersede that pending assignment. You must let that regional supervisor know. See, you can see down here where it says NCHSAA lacks pending assignments. That lets me know that it is JJ White that is giving me the assignment. So if I decided I needed to block that day, I would block it, but I would need to follow that up with an email to JJ as the regional supervisor to let him know, hey, you have me as pending games on that day. I am no longer available. And so
John, just for the edification, that's some of y'all, that's probably asking too much. When I say that, we have you then pending the game. What they do, when I get the assigner, I do that. I'll do that this week because those Monday, we got basketball games. They're going to win that day. How they do that? We have that in there. You have a pending game. You can block it. If when I get ready to publish the game in a regional supervisor, it will tell us right up on the screen. We have 50 slots that we publish. It will send us a reminder. You so-called pencil that person in. It was not blocked. They did block it. So I know in my group, I will not assign you a game when you block. Okay, so it is a little check mark, and I can do it anyway, but it'll send us something as a assigner, not to just notifying us that, hey, because sometimes, we put those games out. What I'll do for softball for next week. We put those games out, we just haven't published them yet. Sometimes we be made known you to complete your concussion course or any other requirement you got to do. But you can see that when it's a pending game. But when we publish it, we do get to see that, hey, and the arbiter sends us a little note telling us when you assign them, when you put them down there for that game, they were not blocked. They are blocked right now. It works both ways. We'll get to see it.
All right. So now what we're going to do is learn how to block game days or partial days. When we look at the blocks, first thing is you will have your arbiter groups, which you participate in over here. If you have them all checked, everything you do will affect all those groups. If you uncheck it, for example, I used earlier that I want to block everybody except Mr. Daniels because it's a basketball game. If I'm going to block, for example, I'm going to block the 13th down here for today, but I'm going to leave it open for Mr. Daniels. I'm going to uncheck that box. So his group, which is 107916, all right, that box is unchecked. So that means whatever I do is not affecting his group. So I would come down here to the action I want to take. If I want to block all day, I'm going to click that. Then I will click on the date that I want to block. The 13th. You can confirm it. You scroll down here and you see when I go to all day block, you do not see Mr. Daniels' name up there or his group. Why? Because I didn't check this box. If I would check it, then it applies to him. All right. If we wanted to do a partial day block only for men's lacrosse, I would come up here, unselect everything. And it's also, notice it's taking it away from my calendar. Because then it's on your calendar. My calendar currently is only showing the Triangle Association Men Lacrosse, which I have nothing of it. I don't have anything pending from them. So I'm doing men's lacrosse. I'm going to block part of a day. All right. Then I will come up here and I will select the time. So from noon to 7 p.m. I need to put this one in there anyway. I would get my time here and I would select the day. That puts a partial block in for men's lacrosse that day from noon to 7. Only for men's lacrosse. If I want to do it for everybody, I've got to go back in here and check all of the associations I am in that I want to block. And then I will block part of a day because I'm still clicked down here. I will put the time in 12 p.m., 7:15 p.m. And then I would click on the day that I want to put that block in. Now, here's another example. If I am going to be out of town, say I'm going to Clinton for a doctor's appointment, I can put in here by clicking on the pencil beside that association. Say if I wanted to let Chuck Snyder in Raleigh know, hey, I'm in Raleigh for an appointment. I can click the pencil and I can make a note for him. I'm in Raleigh for an appointment, where he would know that if he had a game that started at 7:30, I'm in Raleigh. And he could put me on a game if I left him a note. That's important, especially for those of us who like are insurance people or who have to travel within the region. If you are going to be out of town, you can let that assigner know, hey, I'm going to be in this town on this day. That way they can say, oh, well, you're your mileage is not reflecting accurately. So that is what you can use the pencil for, to let them know that information. All right. If you want to clear a block, you just hit the clear block and you click on whatever day you want to clear. It will take it away and erase it off. Just as we talked about before, you can do that individually by viewing the game and then clicking the X. So if I wanted to make it where JJ White from Southeastern Lacrosse could schedule me on 2/6, I could delete that blocks, and it's going to give me an error because it's in the past. All right, but you would hit that X and it would delete that block. Final thing on blocks. All right, your blocks, you have the ability to do partial or all day blocks on a recurring schedule. For example, I'm a teacher. So I am not available from 7 a.m. to 3:30 every day. I do not want to click on every day to put that block in. So I come over here to this date range and say, I want to apply it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then I would put the date range. For my sake, I'm going to put this block in a time period where I won't forget it. July 4th, I can select July 4th and go through however long I want to go through. I'm going to go through the whole month of July. I'm going to have to clear a lot out. All right. Then I would hit apply. Now I can go and see that in July, I have now blocked all of these days. You can select Monday only. You can do whatever days of the week you want. This also works on block all day. I click block all day, put the date range I want to have in there, and I hit apply, and it will block all those days. Again, it does the same thing for clear. So if you put it in there and it's got to change, you'll hit in there and you'll hit clear blocks and you apply it. Sometimes it's going to say, just check it because the blocks sometimes on clears don't clear all the way sometimes. You may have to hit it multiple times. But that is how you do your blocks. This is the most important part. Any questions, anything you want me to do again where you can see it?
JJ, this is John, this is Drix Neiman. Can you go back to where you can put your departure city in and explain that again? Thanks.
Yep. All right. So if I want to put in there, I'm going to go back to a date that's more current. So up here, you click on the month, and that's how you move your Arbiter page. All right. So I'm going to go into February 27th. I click on the day. View schedule is my action. I click on the day that I want to make a note. And then I hit the pencil under what assigner or group I want to make that note. All right. So I'm going to say in basketball now. I would click the pencil. I would put whatever note I want to put in. I am doing an online clinic for lacrosse. I put it as save, and that gives the note to that assigner, hey, this is my block, this is why. It's more important for like this one where I put down here, I'm in Raleigh for an appointment. This lets the assigner know, hey, this is where I'm coming from. It's different than normal.
So as an assigner, do I get some kind of message from you that you've left a message for me, or only if I try to assign you to something on that particular day?
JJ, I'm gonna let you answer this because you showed me this trick. Are you still on, JJ? Because I can't see the assigner side. Or Errol, do you know that answer?
I'm not seeing JJ. He was, oh, he's on. He's on.
He's not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm awake. I'm just trying to find the button. It'll change. If you're in Raleigh, there's an area in there where you can change your zip code as well.
Yeah,
Because
we're
I
gonna
know
do
that's
that
a
here in a
problem.
few moments.
But if I wanted to use Hendrix on a game and it shows blocked, when I hit that blocked, it'll tell me why he's blocked, either because Hendrix blocked it or because the travel limits are too far. And then I would see that, okay, John's in Raleigh, so I can put him at Fuquay. It won't take him that long to get there. So you'll see that when you go to your, when you do the assigning, if you want to pick somebody and they're not showing up, and you go to available ranked officials, you'll see why they're blocked.
Got it. Okay, so if I go to ranked officials, which basically shows everybody, then I'm gonna see why, yeah.
If you
Okay,
click
got
on
it.
that left, in the left column, you click on it, yes.
Okay.
Or Drex, you can also go to potential.
Oh,
Because
right.
yeah.
Yes. No, that I knew. Yeah.
I mean, because potential, sometimes you rank everybody. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Potential. Okay, and that'll show me that I have a note or something like that.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions on blocks? Thank you, JJ and Errol, for your help, because I don't know the assigner side of it. All right, next, if you click on list, and this will show you the list of people in your group. Now, that depends on your regional supervisor who shows up on this list. I'm in Mr. Daniels, who shows all of the referees in there. That may not always be the case. It could be it shows the school contacts. It could be showing the association contacts. But you can go to list and for example, if I want to see JJ White, I could go to the W and then I could click on his name and it's going to give me his arbiter profile. All right. And it will show me his number. Again, this is where when we talked about earlier, that emergency number, he put his number in there. It has emergency. And then in the notes, he put wife Loretta. So that way we know who we're calling whenever we are calling that emergency contact number if we need it. The sites are, again, that's the sites where you could possibly go. It gives you the address that's there. The teams that are in your in the arbiter. Forms, I need to switch over. Oh, there's some here. Forms, it gives you some of the whatever that needs to be posted that they posted that you need to see. So this one, two-handed reporting, basketball exam. So if they want to post something that you need to find, you can go to forms and it will find that information. Any questions about list?
And again, and John saying that every assigner does not post that out there. So you're not missing anything if you go in there and you don't see list or you don't see people, because that's up to them whether they're going to allow you to see that. You see some things in yellow. Those are individuals that have not checked ready. Now, what I do is that we have two, this is the assigning system. Now, the other system, that registration system, is the Dragonfly. We use both. I mean, hopefully, this NCHSAA is going to make a decision sometime, hopefully, for the 22-23 season, we're going to be combined. But if you look at that and see that those individuals in yellow, when a new official comes in, and I get a query that they want to, the state, when they register, they go into the Dragonfly. Notice John did that first. You register. But as signers, we have to do two things now. We have to go back to Dragonfly, see that, and we have to physically and go back and put you in the arbiter. And you have to accept our invitation to be in our arbiter. By some of those individuals that you see, like William Bailey, Derek Kennedy, those are new individuals, they've accepted this invite, but they have not check that red and blocked. That's why, yellow.
That's that ready block that we originally put in there. Chris, you have a question, sir? Did you raise your hand by accident?
Yes, he did. You
Okay.
muted, Chris. You can take your Super Bowl ring off and mute.
All right. And so, like, I was just going to show you how some other associations, I switch over to another group and I go to list, and this is all I get. And so, just some places are not going, some assigners choose not to show it, do the list the same way as others. And so, just know, like Errol said, that sometimes you're not going to see the same information in every arbiter because different groups have different priorities and different things of what they do. But I like this group because of this. They can put, like, this assigner uses this to put rules up. And so, like, the Hope County Angels have a different set of rules than the baseball pitching rules for Hope County. So that's where forms can become important. All right. Next, we're going into schedule. All right. This is where you can see your schedule coming up, your schedule you've had, this and everything that's going on. I'm going to start by showing my my whole schedule. That way we can go through how this works, and it's going to take it a minute to generate. All right. So when you're looking at this, you're going to see a bunch of different information. Over here, you have your legends based off the colors. This is an event right here. This color, basically, that was a meeting that I was required to go to. The red means the game was canceled. It will show up canceled up there for you. The blue, I think that's postponed. I have to go up there and look. It was blue means suspended. It means we were in the middle of it and the rain got it. I'm trying to see other colors. The lighter red is a forfeit, meaning, hey, the team forfeit before you even got there. So let's see. I think that's pretty much all the colors I can remember. Those were suspended because of rain. Those again are events. All right. Now you have the ability to sort this by the group you're in. So if I wanted to go to my basketball only, my basketball only for the year, I can go and select that. And I got to remember where I got to find it. There it is.
Right there.
And then I would hit apply. And it would show me every game that's been assigned to me from the Mr. Daniels basketball and softball group.
Now, John,
So-
when you go down to the end, no, go ahead. You get to the end, I'm gonna show you something else because you got a pending game. You've been notified a game for Monday.
Yes, and that's in another another group.
Right.
I've kept it on there just for today.
Right. Okay. And I'm gonna show you. I'll tell you something else for in the future. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go to the future where it just shows me my games that are upcoming. All right, so here are my games upcoming. I have a game, as Mr. Daniels has alluded to, for Monday. I have to accept it or decline it. This is where I would go in and accept. Do you want me to go ahead and accept? What are you?
No. I want to do
before I
anything.
it?
Now, for those individuals, they work in other groups like John did, and a lot of your basketball officials on the call now. You got a game today. The game is for tomorrow. When I went in, it told me I was gonna sign John Owens a game at 5. It gives me, like Drix brought up earlier, he's the signer, lacrosse signer. I went to potential officials because he didn't show up. I looked in, when I clicked on his potential officials, it had 2G, he had the games. He had games in another group. I didn't know who he worked for. That's why sometimes when you all work for multiple people, where it's on Fort Bragg, another sport, another association, the arbiter lets me know this person has a game in another group. He had made a decision on that game, so I couldn't assign it. That's how sometimes when you go, we know you have a game in another group. So don't impugn your integrity because we can see some of those things. You're an independent contractor, you have a right to do that. And I say it helps when you're having the sharing feature at times because John game, if I had a 7 o'clock game, he shows up. But if I had a 6 o'clock game, the arbiter will kind of tell you where that game is. That individual does not have time to go to that other game. So again, so when you notify the game, you hold that game waiting on something else. That won't happen. If John was expecting, look, I'm gonna wait and see if I get a game in basketball. While he's pinning that decision, I can't assign it.
And it also shows the assigners the group number.
Correct.
Because if a lot of our officials are members of a lot of groups, so it even tells us which group number has the game that's conflicting with my game.
Correct.
Right.
So again, guys, I mean, that's why I think this kind is beneficial. It's always better when we work together because again, we all want you on the game. I think most officials will do this to work. Okay. But again, sometimes that, hey, when we going cross sports and basketball game I mean, we have critical games in every sport. Now, like now, during the postseason, those things moves you to be honest with whatever sign you have. Say, look, this is your priority. But when they assign you a game, again, like I say, I know John had a game in another group. And like I say, it won't allow you. Sometimes some of y'all have the ability and the fitness to do it and the willingness to do it. And sometimes they don't match. Sometimes it does. Just want to show that out.
All right. And the other thing too, just for you to know is you can see that it is purple right now. The assigner knows that I have seen this assignment. I just have not accepted this assignment. I've seen it. I know about it, but I just hadn't accepted it. So they know I know about it. And so whenever you log into Arbiter, it's going to tell them, hey, he is notified of the game. This goes for the Arbiter mobile site also. So just know that your RSO can see where what you have done. If you've declined it, if you are if you're waiting to accept it, if you've accepted it, or so on and so on. All right. Now, if you decline it, at least every association I've been in the past, if you hit that decline button, it's going to ask you why. All right. You have to put in the reason why. You type it in and you hit submit, and then it declines you and blocks you. So know that. The other thing is, whatever you do, so I'm going to accept this game. So I would click the accept button, and then I would have to hit submit. Now I have accepted that game, and this is my basic information sheet of my schedule. Now, I can see from this page the basic information. This is where, especially if you're doing basketball or any tournament, the home team may not be where the game is. That's where the site falls under. If you need to know what the information for the site, you can click on it and it will tell you the address for the school. Some of our schools have directions to where you get to it. For example, I know that Southern Lee for soccer says the soccer field is on the football field at the back of the school. Some of these schools, I know, I think Hope County used to have it for football. It says that the football stadium, you are to park here, and this is where you will get dressed. So it will have more information sometimes down here, and also some of these sites also will have their contact information of who you may contact when you are there. All right. If you click on the school where it says home, and I'm not clicking on a good school to do this. Let me come down here. Here we go. Now I'm on a good one. So you have directions. This is from the lacrosse group, has the AD phone number. When facing the building, go to the right side of the parking lot, drive toward the right side of the building, go through the gate, past the baseball field, through the road, park near the soccer and football field. So some of these sites are going to have detailed information. It'll also have the AD's information in there, along with the phone numbers, their work and their cell or whatever they put down, so that you can contact them if you need help or if you need to get information from them. The other thing, it shows you your groups, but if you click here on the number, we'll click on this one. The number will show you who your partners are for this game. So I'm on a softball scrimmage. It gives me the information at 1:30, the game time, what the sport and what the level is, the site, the team names, gives me my partners. I can come over here and look. And of course, probably none of my partners. Oh, there's one. Daryl Ferguson, I have his cell phone number and his work number. And so I can look up their phone numbers here. Their emails are here. The other thing, it tells you your assigner and their information, but we don't use, some assigners use this more than others. You can also put notes in here. Now we'll tell you, if you put a note in here, the mobile site, you can't read it on the mobile site, but I can put a note in here and say, well, it's not activated because I'm not the assigner. But the assigner could put a note in here that says, this is a senior night game. Or it could say number 5 from Terry Sanford is sitting out red card ejection. So the assigner has the ability to put notes in this game so that you do it. Now, let me switch over to another group. Wrong one.
Yeah, John, that was a good thing for the notes, because in the scrimmage, what I will do when I get the team names, I'll use the notes. And if it is senior night or something like that, something unusual, because that's on a scrimmage, you're going to have several different over that 2-hour period. You're going to have games. I'll put the teams in there. And you can kind of, the assigner will let you know who all can see that note. Sometimes it's just for the officials and for the sites and everything, and for those that receive that bill. So like I say, the bill too can be somewhat different than the game being played. But anytime that when you put a note in there, it will turn a different color, so you'll see that you know it's a note in there.
All right, I'm gonna switch back to my other ones to show you the one other feature in here. So when you have done a game, you're gonna have an R up here. All right, that's where you're going to go and file the report, but I ain't got a game that's close enough. I've done past the deadline. But if you click the R, if your regional supervisor requires you to put in the score, or if you're the referee and you got to put if your partners are on time, late, or whatever, or you need to put a note that says number 14 for Southview was ejected for profanity, report is being filed. You will do it through that R. That is, and it will turn yellow if you have to put a note in there. If you just go score and everybody was on time, it will turn green. And so that is what the R is showing up for. Any questions about this part of the schedule? Next thing you can look at is some assigners have it where you can see the master schedule. The master schedule. Oh, I hear.
John, go back to your profile under lacrosse.
Uh-huh. Oh, lacrosse.
Yeah, for
You.
yes.
Okay.
Go back to your profile. Go down to your address.
Yep.
Address.
Oh, there it is.
That's you only get that if the assigner gives you permission to set travel limits. If you move from one side of the town to the other side of town, you need to let your regional supervisor know so he can let you update your travel limits.
Yeah, because I was looking that because some assigners have that ability, and you cut yourself off from games if you say, I'm only willing to travel 50 miles.
Right, so that's usually not turned on, but if you move, it needs to be updated, and the regional supervisor can set it to let you update.
Thank you. I had sent JJ a text saying, hey, how do you do this? Because I can't see it. And that is why, because it's not an option that's available for me. All right, so schedule, and we're in the home stretch now. Schedule, master schedule allows you to see the games that are in your area. You can come up here and you can come up and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get JJ to activate something for me. You can come up here and put the date. If I want to see the games that Errol has on Monday, I would put the date, the 14th, and I would hit go. All right. Well, it ain't pulling up any. I must be in the wrong group. Oh, I am. That's the reason. He ain't got no games in the football group. Wrong time of the season. Master schedule. Let me put the date of tomorrow and go. And it shows me all the games he has for tomorrow. So if I decided, hey, I would like to go and watch the game. I'm in Lumberton tomorrow and I don't have a game. Well, or not Lumberton, Cape Fear.
No, good. See, now look at that. See, because look at the site, then look at the sporting level, and then the team. That's why I say we in the tournament play. You got to look at all that.
See, and I almost fell for it. I would have gone
Right,
Lumberton.
because you say Lumberton. Right. There you go. And see the games at Cape Fear.
So if I wanted to go see a game tomorrow night, I'm in Fayetteville. Westover is playing at 6 o'clock against Pine Forest at Westover. If I'm in Scotland County, I can go see Scotland play in Lee County.
You say the varsity girls tournament. It also is.
So it gives you all the information if you want to go look and watch a game. And it's one of those things, especially if you're a new official, hey, it's highly encouraged. And a lot of the times, if you contact the regional supervisor ahead of time and say, Mr. Daniels, I'd like to go see this. I'm in town. I'd like to see Scotland versus Lee County. Can you tell me who the referee is? And they'll send you the referee's contact information, and you might can go sit in on their pregame and postgame if you make contact with them. And that way they know they will include you in on that. I know when I first started, that was an invaluable experience to just sit in on pregame and postgame to hear and see what the expectations of each referee was, along with talking about at halftime and postgame, hey, this is something we did good as a crew. This is something we can improve on. So this is a tool you can use. Last thing is the most important part. For some people, it is for me. I love to do the game, but I also love to get paid. All right. You got to have most of the schools that we call use an Arbiter Pay. You got to set up an Arbiter Pay account. So you go to payments and you got to set up first, you got to set up your bank account. You hit this little plus mark and you will fill out this information that will add you into an account. That will give you your bank information. All right. Up here, is where you would put in your Arbiter, you would get set up your Arbiter Pay account. I can't set it up because I already have one. All right. And so, but once you get it set up, it will look like this. Now, if you click on your account, it's going to pull up your account history. All right. So for example, I can click on the description. It says that the reason it's negative is send it to my bank. That $105 came from Cape Fear High School, and you can check off when you get paid from that group. You can do it sorted by the dates if you would like. Now, the next thing, going back to the dashboard, if you click the little, if you click edit account, all right, it's going to give you a PIN number. That way, when you transfer your money, you have to put in the thing. Now, if you set, it has the availability for you to do an automatic transfer. There's a used to be a fee associated with this. I'm pretty sure that fee's still there, but I haven't done this before to switch it over to say if that fee's still there. But I know when I first started with Arbiter Pay, there was a fee to automatically transfer. This is an important thing for you that they just added in the last 2 or 3 years, is that you can get notified. So if you come down here and update your notifications, it will let you know via email you have money available in your account. Cape Fear has sent you money. All right. If you transfer your money to the bank, it will let you know that your money has been transferred to the bank. You will hit update those settings, and it will update it for you. Now, at this point, I will get notified every time that someone pays me via Arbiter Pay, which is helpful if you want to transfer that money over quickly. The next thing, when you look in under payments, you see pay sheets. I'm in the wrong group, but I can switch over. All right. Pay sheets. Thank you, JJ. Pay sheets is, you can look here. Mr. Fisher does this, I know, but he doesn't owe me for any games right now. But it will show up and say, this is the timetable. These are the games. That's what your pay sheets work for. Your next thing is 1099s. If you click on it, generate 1099s. This is where you print off your 1099s for that year. And it will show you all the places where you have 1099s. Now, it didn't print 2021 because I'm on the wrong one. So sometimes it'll show up like this. Then you just go into download and it will download it for you. All right. Final thing, I'm going to switch over and show you one last thing and we will be done if there's no questions. I'm going to show you about self-assign. Some officials some regional supervisors use self-assign if they can't find somebody or have a last minute opening or for like scrimmages. And so when you go into your Arbiter for a group that uses self-assign, for example, JJ's opened this up. You click on self-assign and it will show you for that association what the self-assign is for that day. It says there's a game on 2/26 at 9 o'clock, the site, and then it will tell you the pay and everything. And then you will just click on go. And then it will lock you into that game. And now it will show you as it will show up on your schedule just as a normal game. So that's how you can use the self-assign feature. You can to get your games. Any questions?
How do you download a picture on Dragonfly?
On Dragonfly?
Yes.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'll go over to Dragonfly. Can y'all see Dragonfly now, or you still see Arbiter?
Dragonfly.
Okay.
And saving you money with everything. So the some would say we talk about really hands up, roll up the feet, subscribe, save.
All right. So when you come up here, there should be a box right here. You can click on the box. If you don't have a picture, it should have a question mark or something like that. You would click on it and then you would upload the picture, or you can just use your phone or the camera that's on your computer. So I click camera, allow, and then it's going to pull up the camera where it would ask for me to take my picture. I would take my picture, then I would upload that photo, and that would take care of it for you. And if you've done it up here, then it will automatically pull that picture for your all officials pass. So when you click in here, it's supposed to do it. We'll see if it does it. If not, I'll show you how to do it here. Where's wrestling? All right. So it's not letting me do it. So I hit upload new image. I can pull one from my computer, or I can take one from the camera. Look, smile, great. And I hit upload photo. Take my picture, upload. There, that's what it does. All right. It says, would you also like to update your Dragonfly? No, I don't want to do it. All right. And then you would hit submit the request. But obviously I'm not a wrestling official, so I don't have that. Any other questions?
John,
Yes, sir.
back to the Arbiter and stuff. When you first log on and it gives you a list of all the assigners to which you're going to log into, how do you know who those assigners are?
All right. Most of them have it beside their names beside of it. Let me replicate what you're asking for real quick, where everybody can see.
Well, like the one that says Arbiter Sports LLC.
That's the home base. This is what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, Arbiter LLC is just what keeps up with your 1099s.
Gotcha.
And so if you click on it, nothing really shows up. I don't even know if you have access to it. Yeah, it
Yes.
shows here, but
Yeah.
when you go to main,
You're an official in the Arbiter.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah. The user Arbiter.
Yeah, but not that
Yeah.
some new guy goes in there and, where you go in and accept or log that they can see and everything, or do and unblock that or block it.
They won't
Then
let you. I mean, John, if you go to blocks, certain things they won't let you block. I mean, their account won't come up. You try to click an X in there. When you go to the calendar, and you'll
Yeah, go
see.
to the calendar.
Yeah, just go to schedule or the box there. You
No,
see
but if you
some
go
of
to
the,
your profile.
No,
if you
see,
go to your
right there.
profile,
Yeah, but Willie, right there. See when you put the X over 1099 or NCHSAA, it shows you can't put nothing in there.
right, but if you go to your profile and under
Okay.
LLC, Arbiter LLC, you can uncheck it. See what I'm saying?
I'm going that way. And I think that would deactivate you from all of your accounts.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah, I don't.
especially for a new official, not that a new official goes in there, not saying, well, that's not a part of us, and then unblocks it or, unchecks
Yeah.
it.
That's a good point, Willie. You want to make sure that you're in the right one when you're doing that. And the right one is whatever your assigning group is. So for example, if I'm looking for Eastern North Carolina women's lacrosse officials, I'm going to ENCWLOA. Most of the Southeastern guys are really good about in their title. It tells you the name of the officials or who your assigner is.
All of them, don't say most.
Yeah,
All the South Asian.
I've never seen volleyball or wrestling, so I didn't want to.
No, but there was there. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't want to comment on it because I had never seen volleyball or wrestling. Any other questions? That's a good point, Willie. All right, guys. Well, if there is none, if
But
Mr.
John,
Daniels, you got anything you would like to
Yeah,
add?
yes. No, yeah. Any other the regional supervisors have anything to share with their groups or anybody in general?
Sign-in sheet for today.
No, the regional supervisors speak. That wasn't the regional supervisor. We're gonna give you credit, brother.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, Errol.
Rich,
Thanks, John,
Rich,
for scheduling this. This is really helpful.
Great job, John and Earl.
Well,
Good
one thing
job.
for the regional supervisors is go
Good
off.
job.
Guys, if you on here now, I'm glad you said about something about the sign-in sheet. You are in this class, there's no reason for you to decline a game. I mean, we say you put that block, some people in that comment blocks, they'll ask you reason for declining. And that's what you type in there. Reason for
I don't want
declining.
to call with Earl Daniels.
All right. You can say that. Hey, you don't know who you're calling with. That's why I don't let you know till you accept. All right. Again, don't type in, they say type reason for declining. Don't type the word reason for declining. We've had that several times. I mean, hey, we want to know your excuse. Hey, because now some of y'all got, some of your relatives, they aging twice as fast because they had 2 or 3 birthdays in a year. You got, you got married, wedding anniversary, you got 2 or 3 wives and husbands. Hey, again, look, look at the old one, make a copy of it because I don't want to see I don't want your grandmother to die 2 or 3 times the same year. All right. So when they say the reason, hey, I forgot, we know you. Again, it works both ways. I mean, again, because say the travel limits, all those things. I got some people don't go because they haven't updated, and they still came from wholesale Oklahoma. Now they're here, but all the games coming in. He's got 1,200 miles. He can't get there. I get the game on a Tuesday. He can't get to the game on Wednesday night. All right. So just it helps us and it helps the process a lot. Again, just use the arbiter and say you can't break it. You go in there, all you do is what? Sign out and sign back in. You got goof up sub, you can't break it. But we want you to use it because it helps both of us. And like I say, now people say about the shortage of officials, and some people actually use that because sometimes it's the same. I know for baseball, softball, when we get into that, some rec departments, some of those fields use the exact same field. John Griffin, they play their middle school games there. Then right after that, at 6 o'clock, when the game's over at 4 o'clock, they use that exact same field for their recreation games. You do that, some of the signers, like I say, it helps them. But again, you're an independent contractor. Now John, he didn't go in there and set. Sometimes it's a firm block. John, if you will,
I'll get there.
Because let me tell you something, guys. Some people ask, hey, I was blocked. Then it's not to sign your games. Don't get upset. You know whether you was blocked or not. I mean, some of you are gonna say that. But it's the way you can make a firm block or a soft block. And trust me now, I think every one of these assigners were or officials right now. As I say, I use it as a form of respect. You tell me you block, I'm gonna respect it. Okay. But sometimes it's a soft block. That's why you just wonder, well, how can they do that? I know sometimes when I go in there on a basketball, a lot during this season, we had games moved all around. When I go in there and reschedule a game, it'll take those same officials. They go from cancel to normal. Sometimes they're automatic. If you have a game in another group, if you have a game in my group, you go from a Thursday, like this past week. There was a regional wrestling championship at Pinecrest on Friday. And they moved the game from Friday to Thursday. All 3 of those officials had a game already on Thursday. So it just said unassigned. Time I hit the new date, from the 11th to the 10th, it automatically took all 3 of them off the game. come on, man, they'll call, hey, why'd you take me out the game? What happened to my game? That's what it moved. All right. And sometimes if you have a block in there, it doesn't, I mean, if I see it, it'll tell me this person blocked during the time. I automatically unassign. I feel that's what you want to do. You had a block. Hey, I don't hold that against you. But what irritates me is the declines, because you know when you don't want to work. And so when I look at your calendar, sometimes I can go in there and look at your calendar. You have all white space. I mean, you're available every day. Or you'll send me a text message. I can't work Thursday and Friday. I'm doing this here. And I go to sign the game on that Thursday, Friday. If I got 10 to 12 people, there's no way I'm going to. No, all you got to do is block it. In here, on you notice on the, as I said, firm. You see it, John? How about
You gotta, in order to do the firm block, this means that the signer can't override it, from my understanding. You
Right.
click the pencil and you click firm, and then you could tell why again.
Well, I don't need no why. You don't want to work, I don't want you to work.
So you could just click firm, hit the save button, and it'll put a check mark that says firm, meaning that you can't move. It's non-negotiable.
Everybody. So again, when you got that day, so on the 14th, Valentine's Day tomorrow. Sometimes you whether you're gonna be somebody else's Valentine or you're gonna go and want somebody to be your Valentine. You don't want to work, hey, so don't have your class be dependent on somebody calling me, asking me, Mr. Daniels, my husband working. I don't know. If he is, he's not working for me. All right. Hey, do you laugh nowadays? You see, that's the guy. All right. I don't, hey, again, let the calendar work for us. Okay. Hey, again, sometimes it helps when you have a firm block or you have a block, and you know now you're not going out of town. That's what we had a couple times in weather situations. People say, look, you know what, this was planned, I got changed. Again, every day this basketball season, I mean, especially this calendar year, every single day, someone came off game on game day. Every day. I mean, but it happens. We got COVID, accidents happens, other things, just life happens. Kid got hurt at school, this happened. So again, when your blocks are updated, it makes it easier for everybody. So it just makes it easier for us to adjust. It's easy when you're working 2 weeks out. That's good. But again, things happen last minute. Again, that's all I have. I would check your email. I will do some more assignments for the 14th because it's some of the for basketball, they're playing girls, boys, all the championship games. I'll probably have at least 5 championship games. I say 5, that's 5 sites. All I'm playing boys and girls, that's 30 officials will be working at least a minimum just on that day. I will be getting some more assignments because the Northwood Temple, they have their CD meeting today, Super Bowl Sunday, because he said he's going to let me know this evening because they're going to be playing on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So there's going to be some more assignments coming out for Tuesday. Some of them I'm going to send out now because some of them are just playing boys tomorrow. Some conferences doing different things. Some doing same day. But we have, I wrote the conferences down here. We have the Sand Hills, Carolina, All-American, United 8, Sand Hills, and Waccamaw. They're all playing games up to I think first couple rounds, higher seed. But then I know we're gonna lose the 4th with the Whiteville. There's 4 teams in Columbus County. They're gonna play their game in Pender, but we're gonna gain the Carolina Conference, which is we're gonna have 2 teams, Union and Lakewood, and all the other 4 teams don't belong to us, but we're gonna do their tournaments. So we're gonna have a lot of basketball this week. And the first 2 days, like I said, I'm gonna put out some Tuesday games again tonight. Check it over before you retire for the evening after the Super Bowl, and check it again tomorrow morning. And it's going to be changing because as you have a team in this conference, I'm going to move you around, and the way you want to see the same teams, because especially as we get closer to Friday, and we're going to crown some of those champions. And the regular season will end tomorrow night after these 2 games in All-American Conference, and we'll be strictly into our tournament play. And we won't change the dress probably until the championship game, which is Friday. So if you have it, hey, we'll go business casual, not necessarily coat and tie. But next week we're gonna start the state playoffs. We on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Softball starts this weekend. Yeah, I put some of those assignments out. I'll be putting more information out. Again, what John said about that pass. You complete all those things, won't be able to eligible for a pass. So as we go to the night, I'll update some local clinics. Update, some people have sent me the concussion course. I'll update those. And I'll keep that going. And then I say, the scrimmages, if you accept the scrimmage, if it get canceled for some reason, it's just canceled because of rain or something like that, you still get credit. I'll start updating those things. So hopefully you will have, before you take the field, you'll have an assignment. Before you take the field, you'll be fully qualified and eligible, and you'll have your pass with you. They've already sent out the spring sports, I think, for all of us. Dave gave it the message to send if you paid and registered, you've got your electronic rule book. Your publications should have that. I will send a list out on those that need to pay the NCHSAA, the $20. That's good for the year from 1 July of 21 to 30 June 22. All the sports, we're in our spring season now. Get those administrative things done. I'll send an email address out for the booking fee and all those things. Again, take care of all the requirements so when we get in the season, we can focus on the game itself.
And I know in the fall, as far as the entrance cards, that they did them in batches. Like they would do all of them who were eligible by February 15th. They would do it. Then they might not do it again until the 21st.
Yeah, but John, right now, I'm glad you brought it up. Now the testing, we know the testing and the state clinics, football, baseball, all the spring sports. I think they close on the 7th to the 24th. I know lacrosse did some different testing dates. Also, 7th to the 24th. Every Monday and Thursday, they update the state clinics. So if you did state clinic, if you do it today, tonight, you're gonna update it on Monday. They do it again on Thursday. The same thing, I think they do the mailings. If you paid, they're gonna mail you your rule book, the hard copy. They don't just go in there and do it every time somebody does. They do it like once or twice a week. I think Monday and Thursday. I talked to Melissa Knight the other day, and I went down the list to make sure. But a lot of you, we had so many multi-sport officials. If you did something in the fall, you did something in the winter, and you got your concussions good and everything else, just take care of those administrative things when we get focused on the sport itself. Subject to your questions. Anybody got any questions?
All right, the two questions I have from the attendance has been sent out for it. But the questions I got asked is, how do you register for a new sport? If you're registering for a new sport and you're an other sport official, when you go to Dragonfly, you'll hit complete your registration or revisit your registration is what it will say if you've done 100% of the requirements. You'll click on that button. Then you'll come over where it says your sports and it lists it. You will hit, it says confirm or update sports. When you hit that button, you will select the sport in which you want to add. And then you will hit save sports. At that point, it will, you'll have to come down here to paid and pay the additional fee. That's the first question that was asked. The second question that was asked about was Dragonfly, again, was about the card. The card on your Dragonfly homepage, you scroll all the way to the bottom, and then there'll be a square that says request another card. When you request the card, it's going to ask you what sport you would like to request that card in. You will click on the card that you want to request. All right, your answers to your questions will probably already be done if you've done your registration. You'll upload the image from your computer or either by taking a camera picture. and then you will hit get my card, and that will put you in a pending state until the state approves you for meeting the requirements. The other question I've seen deals with neither one of these, but I will switch over where you can see it. Let me just get rid of that one thing for wrestling, because Melissa Knight will be looking at me like you've done nothing for wrestling. All right. The other thing was asked about the state clinic. You go to NCHSAA.org. You can click officials, clinic education. You click on the sport that you would like to do. I'm going to click on softball because I've already done it. You click on the state rules clinic. You will watch this through its entirety.
Welcome to the 2022 NFHS softball.
Because I've already done it, you can click next. Yes, I attest that I watched the previous video in its entirety. I hit next. I put my name. You need to put your name and email address the way that you put it when you register on Dragonfly. You will then hit preview. All this information will come up and you will hit submit.
Now, Don, hold right there, because
Oh, yeah,
Goins,
John, because I missed.
Goins just, he asked that question, I mean, in the chat, I think he sent it to me. If you have a problem, if you did everything, that's what Don said, if you did all that, hit submit, just send a text to me, because I talked to Melissa and I try to have, instead of having 5, 10, whatever, everybody calling from my association, they send to me and I send on one list. If you've done all those things, it helps the process when you got one phone call. Now I'll send a list up. Hey, these people, because she did send a list, something to all the region supervisors on Friday. Some people's having issues. We had some people with issues with adding a sport. Because when you went in the page, you just paid like for the football, then you did basketball. So if you have a problem adding a sport, don't get frustrated. Hey, just shoot me a text, an email. Look, I'm having an issue with it. It's what I'm trying to do. I'm stuck at this point. And then I'll take it from there.
And it should give you an email saying that you filled out the form as a confirmation. I'm showing you what that email looks like now. But
Because
this is for lacrosse.
And that, because I between 7th and 24th, inundated with when it comes up on the Wednesday, the 23rd, everybody's going to send me an email. Okay, remember now, get from the 7th to the 24th. Now we can do both. I mean, it's just like someone doing the call. But take the photo off, audio, the stop video, and you go do something else. It's probably going to do it at the state clinic. Wait till the end, go back and fill the form out. Because we're going to go over them anyway. But again, if you have issues with adding a sport, if you have issues with getting the state clinic done, just shoot me an email. Shoot me a text. Hey, and for Chris, for the first couple rounds, I will let those in basketball. If you have a basketball game, on Monday or Tuesday, yes, you still, those are the first couple rounds. But when we get to the finals, I'll let you know that the group, when you have this, the dress, we can't go in uniform no more. They're going to have an adequate place. Some of the places this week going to have, not tomorrow, but as we get deep in the playoff, probably later in the week, they're going to have a hospitality suite and some other things there for those are working officials. Again, just remember now, we're still in this pandemic, so we don't want to let our guard down. It's never a good time to get sick, but make sure you got wearing a mask. This is some people still carry the hand and sanitizer. Again,